Hello everybody, John Felt here. This is the weekly weather briefing for December 28th. Now, I wanted to put it out a day early because we have a major winter storm. I thought you might be in that area and might want to get an update. So, hope you had a great Christmas. We're heading into the new year, and back in my days when I was a lead forecaster in St. Louis, or I worked up in Des Moines, Iowa, I always had a rule of thumb that the time between Christmas and New Year's is when you started getting some of your major winter storms, the panhandle hooks like this one or the Alberta Clippers, and that's what we're seeing. But this year, we've had some earlier, so it's been a very interesting winter so far with quite variable weather. So we do have a winter storm at the current time. You can see the area of low pressure on the surface map. We have some return flow here from the Gulf of Mexico is pulling moisture up to the north, and that's going to get into the cold air and produce a lot of snow. Now right now you can see the system gathering here. Another forecast tip here is looking on satellite. This is called the deformation zone. And a lot of times, you make this forecast, but you don't know quite where it's going to set up precisely. But once you start seeing this deformation zone, that gives you a higher confidence on where the axis of heavier snow will set up. So we have winter storm warnings out or advisories out in this whole entire area here, and that shows where the greatest impacts due to the winter weather will be. Now, over the last week, it was fairly quiet, and we had a great reprieve from winter in many areas that have been pretty cold. And not much rain or snow either. Heaviest rain was over the southeast U.S. and over the Pacific Northwest and the far western coast. Pretty much as expected, the middle part of the nation pretty quiet. We melted a lot of snow over the last week, but there's still snow over the Dakotas, Minnesota, Wisconsin. This is the beginning of the new snow here, so we're starting to fill this up, and I sort of think we're going to have pretty extensive snow cover in this region once this event is over. So the reason we're getting a winter storm, we have a lot of atmospheric energy, but we also have a boundary here, contrasting boundary between very moist air. Look at your dew points, 50s and 60s. Very dry air up here, dew points in the 20s, and right along that moisture boundary is where we're going to have the action. Now, I did mention last week was a very mild week, and look at this. Temperatures averaged, red is 10 degrees or more above normal, and that's for the entire week over large parts of the nation. So definitely look at Iowa there, over 15 degrees above normal average for the week. So really pleasant reprieve. Now, of course, if you like cold winter weather on Christmas Day, many areas didn't have that with record high temperatures. So right now we still have a contrast, not only in moisture but in temperature. Areas in brown shades here, above normal, blue, below normal, and again right along that boundary is where the action is. Now, because of some of the rain, we have stream flow that's running high. We are getting scattered flooding issues on some of our main stem rivers and its tributaries over the southeast U.S. from rain last week, and over the middle part of the nation from some of the current rain and snowmelt. So here's our culprit here. I mentioned there's a lot of atmospheric energy right here. And what you can see here is behind this system, we generally have a dip in the jet stream that's indicated by the blues. And so we're going to have some cooler air pushing in behind it. But I guess the bigger trend I wanted to point out here is with time, we have a digging of the jet stream or a dropping south in the west and a bit of a pushing to the north in the east. And what that's going to mean is that as we get into January, we're transitioning into a pattern, it looks to me like right through the middle part of the nation here, where we have colder than normal temperatures west of that line and near normal or above normal east of that line. Now, I don't see anything like the extreme mild conditions east of this line here, but I do see more typical or even a little bit above normal temperatures in that area. Now, one of the things to keep in mind is when we have this contrast here between these temperatures, right along that line could be vulnerable for some enhanced precipitation and storm system genesis. Now here's the big winter storm. Right now we have heavy rain, we're going to have some ice, we're going to have a chance of severe weather gusty winds, heavy rain, and flooding, just about everything. This is your precipitation forecast. One band of some enhanced rainfall right through here. Main band will be right in this area, the heaviest rain. Very, very heavy snow, over 1 foot of snow in this region here, and in some cases maybe even nearing 2 feet of snow. Rivers are running on the high side. Yellow is high within bank. Orange is minor flooding. And here's the extended outlook. You can see in the 6 to 10 day range above normal, but this is that boundary in week 2 right here. There's the boundary, colder and warmer. So overall, when we look at threats, just as a sort of repeat here, here's our best chance for severe thunderstorms, our best chance for flooding rainfall, best chance for heavy snow, and a potential for some flooding as well within the area of heaviest rain. So that's this week's briefing. Hope you have a great start to 2020. I'm going to have to get used to saying that like all of us. So it looks like we're going to have a major winter storm as we get through the end of 2019. I hope you have a great start to the new year. I'll be talking with you again next weekend.